day in the pub, Seb and Verity were socialising with hilarity.
They knew there and then that their options were vast. They bought some equipment and made a podcast.
What do you think you are doing, you twits? It's cliched and obvious, you know.
If this doesn't work well, then we'll call it quits. But right now, just listen to our show.
It's called Three in a Bar.
We'll talk to musicians about their lives so far.
Three in a bar.
We hope that you like it, okay? Hooray!
Hello.
Hello! Here we are!
Well, welcome to this brand new podcast. This is Three in a Bar.
yeah.
Let's introduce everyone involved here. Well, there's two of us here so far in this introduction section. There will be three of us soon. But on my, I would say on my left or on my right, she's actually ahead of me over the internet on a screen. It's Verity Simmons.
Hello,
cellist.
hello. Yeah, I'm
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Verity.
Well, I'm a cellist, as you mentioned, and I live
Yeah.
in London. And
Brilliant.
I have been a freelancer for many moons now. And currently, I mean, in this current situation, I'm freelancing in very much in inverted commas from home. Just getting used to the new lifestyle of lockdown. How about you?
Yeah. Also, I mean, I'm not really doing anything at the moment, but I am a trumpet player and I'm a freelance player, and I do all sorts of different things, orchestras and shows and pop bands, all kinds of stuff. We kind of had this idea for a podcast, didn't we?
We did.
Last summer, we were chatting about it when we were working together on Evita in Regent's Park.
Oh, happy times.
It was a lovely time, yeah. And we thought it would be quite interesting to chat to different musicians and people working in the industry.
Yeah.
That actually you probably wouldn't get to hear what they sound like in person, and to hear their sort of personalities, and because you might have heard them on stuff, playing on records or in some shows. You might not know you've heard them.
Yeah.
But there's some really funny characters out there, very interesting,
Yeah, such
entertaining people.
great stories. We've discovered more and more, actually, going through. We've been traipsing around London, haven't we? I was going to say we've been traipsing around with all this heavy gear, but actually you have, haven't you, Seb?
I guess I've been doing the most of it. But
yeah.
that's all right. We've got plenty of time. You can take,
I'll get
the
working
kit
out.
home.
Thank you so much.
It's so heavy, isn't it?
It really,
Microphones
really
and
is.
The
I know.
microphone stands, they're the ones because they're made out of cast iron.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could have got some lighter versions. But no one ever
They're
mentions
sturdy.
that when they talk about podcasts. They
No.
don't say what you really got. You need to get yourself a very good case with wheels. Look after your back.
Yeah. Top tips here. Top tips. Exactly.
Everything we have recorded will probably sound incredibly out of date and irrelevant now. People talking about just going and working.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got some old footage, stuff in the can from different people, but now everyone's sort of at home, and increasingly everyone seems to be buying lots of equipment so they can record, whether they're teaching from home or they're trying to do remote sessions.
Or a
lots of people
podcast. It is a thing,
or a
isn't
podcast, yeah. So a lot of people seem to have microphones. So hopefully we'll be able to just get a lot of interviews and conversations done.
I think we've got about 9 already there to go, and our first guest. So, in fact, Seb, who is our first guest?
Our first guest, let me see. Let's look in the drawer. Who have we got? It is, Phil Donnelly.
Ah, hooray. Phil Donnelly.
Phil Donnelly. So you might know Phil, you might not know him, but hopefully you will by the end of the episode. Phil is a bassist. He's a very versatile He's a very versatile. I just say again. The frog in my throat.
I thought you were laughing because you were imagining him do some sort of gymnastic move. That's why. It's very versatile and flexible.
Well, he's a bassist. He plays the double bass. He plays the electric bass. He probably if there's an acoustic bass, he could probably throw his hand to that as well. He plays guitar, keyboard. So we went to meet him, didn't we, up at his house in North London.
That's right. We were lucky to catch him because he was toing and froing to Sheffield at the time. He was doing a production of Guys and Dolls at the Crucible Theatre. So we caught him on a morning just before he was about to set off on his way back up to the theatre in his amazing studio.
Yes, the stuff of dreams, isn't it? I mean,
it really is.
I think every musician wants their own little place in their house, a garden studio or a converted garage. Oh, what
I know.
What a dream that is.
It's amazing.
It is a working studio. I found out actually afterwards from Phil that Anna Meredith's new album, Fibs, a lot of that was recorded in there. And that's a really cool record. Check it out if you haven't already. But I think, you can go and work there if you want, hire it out. Phil will hopefully provide you some snacks and a cup of coffee.
Unlike for us.
Yeah, but he didn't for us.
You'll hear that later.
So here we go. This is our conversation with Phil Donnelly. This is the best studio we've been in for this. The last one we did was in a Wetherspoons.
So. I'll say this is surely the only studio you've been on for the recording.
Yeah, it is actually the only studio. Well, the one thing I think of about you is gear. I always think about gear when I think about you.
Yeah, well, it was the first thing I said to you today.
Hello?
Well, no, but also then I was like, oh, you've got these mics.
Oh, yeah.
Gear and,
you got sevens, that's baller.
Yeah. 3 sevens.
3 sevens. I've never heard them just called sevens.
Yeah, that's I don't claim that abbreviation.
Nice.
Someone said it to me once, and I just nodded, and then had to Google what they meant after. They're like, I was saying, what's the best mic for this thing? And they're like, oh, I love using sevens.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, 7 sounds like too many.
No idea. Yeah.
One
you
should
just
do.
need one. Yeah.
But you've got a lovely studio here. It's very nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
How long has this been set up like this?
Like 2 years, I think, or maybe 3 years. It was 2 garages, both of which were useless and just full of crap. And now
it's brilliant.
Can I say crap?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's not for children.
That's got to be the weakest of all swear words.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think this one is. No.
Crap, bum.
Right.
Crap's just above bum, I think.
Yeah, it's a little coarser.
It's poo. Poo's fine, isn't it?
Fine.
Poo is absolutely fine. It's a medical term.
I really hate that, but it just sounds so. It's so anodyne, isn't it? Oh, that's poo.
Oh.
Have you ever said that's poo?
I've probably said it to my children when I've been trying to say "shut the up," and I've had to rein it back in. Shush, you little poo.
One of my best friends has been teaching in a school which he describes as a rough school. I don't know what the school is, so I wouldn't say that.
Eton.
Yeah. And a bunch of kids kept knocking on the window while he was trying to give a lesson, and my friend lost it and told them to F off and then he said you fat, but didn't say anything else. He did say the F word. I think my mum might listen to this. I might not say the F word, but
okay.
And then the kid came into the music room and started confronting him. And then nothing happened. It all blew over and whatever. It's fine. But yeah. So,
I like it that he just ended at you fat.
Because he just sort of realised what he was like, you fat, and then realised what. You know.
That's fine.
Like you're talking to a child.
My son said to me the other day, I'm just going to give you some of my worst words. And he was like, so, I've got the S word. I was like, okay, that's not too bad. I've got a B word. I was like, I don't know what. And then he went, and I've got the C word. I went, what? What? I mean, okay, tell me the C word and then never say it again. And I was so relieved because he just said crap.
Oh.
Whew, phew, dodged that bullet though.
A little kid once showed me, he knew all the names for all the fingers. This was in a trumpet lesson. I think I was talking about trumpet fingering or something. He went, yeah, so first finger, that's index finger, thumb, swear. That's my middle finger. Yeah, I was like, yeah, very good. That's the proper name for it.
But did you not say
Swear?
like, and what about the other two? Like you told me you
Love.
knew all the names. Love.
And
Pinky.
real love.
Pinky.
Real love. Oh.
Mummy finger. I used to get my mum used to, if I was quite a soppy kid and I wouldn't like to go to school sometimes, so my mum would paint a little bit of nail varnish on my little finger, and
Is
it's
it clear?
It's called no, pink.
It's not going to help. Yeah.
No, it didn't help.
That's the last thing you want to do when trying to get involved with other children.
That's abuse.
But it was so small, just a little tiny red dot. So then it's a
Yeah.
little mummy finger. I just look down at it.
Ah.
If I was a bit sad, I go, oh,
Oh,
mummy
that's very nice.
That's
Yeah.
very sweet.
I know.
Slightly tragic. But
I think you as a kid is quite different to Verity's children. You were like, Mummy, I really miss you. I want something to remind you of. And you're going, right, I know all the swear words.
no, they miss me
Yeah.
occasionally. I mean, I can see into their classrooms from where we live. So
Oh, amazing.
I don't.
No,
Just
no,
putting it out there, I
yeah.
don't sit and look into their classrooms. But
Yeah.
it's a bit terrifying. I have to do the run of doom sometimes because our bedroom is level with the upstairs classrooms of their school, and occasionally I have to commando roll if,
Oh, no.
if I've been to the shower and forgot to take my clothes down. You know, it's just a nightmare for my children waiting to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Theo, your mum! Ah!
Is that your mum? No, we've moved.
Do you think of yourself as electric bass player or acoustic bass player first and foremost, or do you these days is it pretty
I
much
don't know, and to add confusion, there's quite a lot of guitar playing in that mix as well.
Right.
Like normal guitar. So
yeah
I don't know. I think I'm probably busiest doing bass work for like jobbing stuff.
yeah
And I guess it's electric bass, but
mm.
normally the doubling thing's a huge thing. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
People love that, so maybe it's just a bit of the same. Yeah.
So when you were studying you were at Guildhall, weren't you?
The Guildhall, we call it,
the,
actually, yeah.
the Guildhall
Guildhall.
The Guildhall.
School of mucus
Mucus
and
and
trauma.
I've never had trauma. That's quite good.
Mucus and trauma. Did you went in as a acoustic bass player?
Yeah, I
did
went
you?
as a classical double bass player.
Yeah.
I also auditioned to do joint first on classical guitar,
Right.
which I got, but they do a weird thing. You have to do it after a certain term before they change it to joint first, and then I chose not to do it because I was just so busy doing everything in Guildhall on the bass course.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, it just would be like watering it down.
Yeah.
And I was kind of aware there's not really a career for classical guitar that I wanted to take.
yeah.
Certainly electric guitar and other things like that I was way more into. So I thought, well, maybe I should just dedicate my own time to furthering other things that I'm a bit more into. So
Yeah, and at what point did you start on like seeing a movement towards electric as well? Or, did you see yourself going down a career path of classical bass?
No, weirdly, no. And
From
I
the
kind of knew
start?
that from the start.
Right.
Yeah. Because I'd always played in bands.
Yeah,
From like a young age, being electric guitars or bass guitar, or because I started on electric guitar. That was my first thing.
yeah,
So yeah, and I still love doing all the orchestra stuff. I mean, I don't really do it anymore, but I only studied it because that's what I'd always studied properly.
Yeah.
That was like the proper work. I did all the other stuff on the side, and personal interests sort of drove me along, and music groups and Barnet and all that sort of thing.
yeah,
But then, yeah, I did think, should I be doing like a jazz course or
yeah.
exploring the pop courses, but people really steered me away from that. So I
When
think-
you were studying or
Well, when I was
externally?
deciding to go to music college,
Yeah,
and saying, "Oh, should I go do one of those pop courses or something?" And basically, I was exclusively told not to do it. So people I spoke to who were kind of working, or spoke to some people who were already sort of years older and playing in the industry and all that sort of thing. And industry.
Also, focus on the classical side, that get that really good first before thinking about other.
Sort of, yeah. And then even the classical jazz was a weird debate because, jazz courses are just as intense and good and whatever. You can't compare them. It's just what works for you. But everyone was like, don't do a pop course. I think
Yeah.
Manchester had one that I was sort of looking at, and there was a few others, and there's other places like BIM and whatever. And
Yeah.
maybe that was the bad. I'm not saying they're bad, but that was just the advice I was given. Everyone was like, do not do that course.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did a classical course, I think.
Was that Kevin Rundle?
No, I had Colin
Colin.
Paris. I had Kevin for some groups and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Colin was my main teacher. And I really got on with Colin as well. That was another thing. I had lessons with quite a lot of the teachers from all the colleges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Colin sort of
Got on.
clicked. Yeah.
Nice.
And did he sort of see your vision of where you wanted to go?
Yeah, he was really cool about that actually.
Yeah.
And he's super aware about where the sort of work is and super up for the fact that, there's a student he has who might not want to be just in an orchestra.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, which a lot of other teachers were. I was saying to someone, they said, "Oh, what work do you want to do?" And I said, "I like this stuff, and I play electric bass, and I play guitar, and da-da-da-da." And I found it quite hard to get that across seriously. So I think lots of people, when they're in school, play in bands and play guitars and whatever, and that was like a very, and still is because it is, but that was like a serious thing for my career choice.
Yeah.
Like my guitar playing, my bass playing was like an integral part of my, what I was going to bring. And
Yeah.
so they all just thought, oh, sure, he plays in a couple of school bands, like whatever, And then they said, oh, so what do you want to do? I said, oh, that. And they went, yeah, but you want to play in an orchestra.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I even used that line in auditions when they say, what do you want to do? I go, I want to play in an orchestra,
Yeah.
Because everyone said, you've got to say that
It's just
in
the magic
auditions.
word to
Yeah,
get in.
yeah.
And the other one is, which college do you want to go to?
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
definitely say the one that you're in at the moment.
Yeah.
I want to go to, looks for sign, Trinity. Yeah. Yeah. I did that game a lot, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with Trinity, though.
Hey, I love Trinity.
Well, you're working there. Did you know that Phil is professor?
Not professor.
Well, can I not say that? Surely you are. I mean,
Well, I'm not. I've actually stopped working there.
oh,
As a
what?
very recent.
Oh.
Very recent.
Have you really?
Yeah, because I couldn't really do the time. It was.
Oh man, that was
was-
short-lived.
What was the job? Like,
It was 2 years.
Oh,
Yeah, very long lived.
sorry.
I was teaching at the junior department.
oh,
Yeah,
Cool.
which was a wicked job. It was really, really good. A little early, but apart from that, it was great. It was, and I used to go to the junior department,
nice.
and I've been there for like 7 years when I was in school. So it was really nice to be back, and a lot of the old teachers were still there, and it was a little strange at first.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did feel old.
Oh, I was going to say that. Did you feel old or did you feel really young? Because actually, I just remember my first teaching jobs. I just felt like a bit of a fraud.
Well, it was weird because it was like this new element to a place I'd known. So the building's still the building, but there was a load of the old teachers that I used to know who
Yeah.
are still there, and weirdly that relationship never really changes because you just get older and they still, in a very nice way, but talk about what you're up to, and
Yeah.
so I still look up to them in a kind of weird teachery role. But now there's a group of kids here as well.
Yeah.
It was very strange, but I mean, it was a hard job, a little harder than I thought because
Yeah.
everyone was so good.
Yeah.
Like I had a musicianship class, which I'd been quite keen to do because I'd loved the musicianship classes when I was there, and I thought they were really important. When I got to Guildhall, I really noticed the people who'd been to those musicianship classes, even reluctantly, or done
Yeah.
a similar thing in their music training until that point, against the people who hadn't. It was really interesting. I mean, they learned it up and it wasn't a big deal, but it was a real obvious gap in people's knowledge. I was like, I'd be quite keen to do a musicianship class. I think basically everyone in the class had perfect pitch apart from like two
What?
people.
Wow.
So things like ear tests were just insane.
That's
you know.
crazy.
And they're young. you know.
Yeah.
They're like year 8, year 9. It's not like they're all sixth form and they've done this their whole time and
Yeah.
they've got it all together. Like,
Yeah.
they can tell if you're bluffing.
They're getting smarter, the
They
kids, aren't they?
flipping art. So when you came out of college, fresh-faced, bushy-tailed, what happened? What did you go into?
Yeah,
Did
what
you,
happened?
What happened? What happened to you?
I got
All went wrong.
so lucky. Like, this is the luckiest story you've ever heard. A week before my final, I got offered a tour. I got offered the Shrek tour.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's great.
I was dapping a bit in town, and it was the same sort of music team and Sixers and whatever. So yeah, a week before my final, I got a call from Andy Barnwell. I was just like, oh, great. Put the bow away, put the bass down. It's all going to be fine. Got a job. No, I did carry on working, but it was just like.
Did you go in and do a Disney medley for
Yeah,
your final
yeah, I
recital then?
Changed the
Bit of a change, lads.
It's actually a DreamWorks production.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh.
Yeah, but it was so I did my final, and about 3 weeks later I started. It was great.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. It was.
And what a way to sort of go in there and immediately, like, that's a great way to find your feet in the profession, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
To go
it
and
was.
be on tour.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It was, and I met cool people on it, and yeah, that gig has sort of been the source in a weird way. You can kind of trickle that back to everything I've done, sort of, in the whole show thing, West End thing. It's all come from there, really. Yeah.
How long was it?
It was quite a long time. It was 22 months.
Wow.
Which is a long time.
Yeah.
But it was sort of the perfect time for me to do it.
Definitely.
And I remember being quite aware of that sort of a few months in, realising that, you know, I haven't got any kids, I haven't got a mortgage, I haven't got a wife.
You only realised that a few months
yeah,
in?
Yeah, it's like, what? What? It was such a wake-up call.
I'm making this packed lunch, but who's it for?
But yeah, and, you know, all the people who had to kind of be scooting home every time they possibly could to see their kids and see their wife, and I was just like, and that, you know, a lot of people enjoy that way of life. It's not a kind of sob story to all of them. It was just like, oh, this is kind of the time to do this.
Yeah, totally.
You know? And I was glad I did it. You know,
Yeah.
It was a great gig.
So all this business with Nashville now, Phil, because I remember last year you saying, maybe I could go and live in Nashville. And is this something that might still be on the cards? Is it something you'd like to do?
Maybe. The tricky thing is visas is the really tricky thing.
Yeah.
So, and making it work. It's weirdly, it's about a year ago we were only playing for one band, American Young, which are two songwriters out there called John Stone and Christy Osmondson. But since then, it's kind of, we're now playing for loads of people, which is really great. Well, like 4 or 5 people, which is really great. So it would all depend which gig we were doing out there. I think basically it's choosing our moment and sort of wondering, you know, checking when their tours are going to be. And it may be that we don't do it with American Young. We might do it with Lainey Wilson, who's another artist we play for. And so, yeah, trying to sort that out is it's still a pretty serious thought.
Yeah.
And, you know,
how did you get into that world? That's quite different.
My best mate Chris Bryce, who's a drummer, who has worked so hard to be on the kind of country thing, and that's what he's obsessed with. And I've done no work in that world at all, or I don't know any of those sort of standards or like those tunes or anything. Like, all his hard work has paid off for me.
Great.
It's been amazing. Yeah. So he got called, or a band he plays for, Two Ways Home. Their management got called by, I think must have been Curb in America, in Nashville, saying, "Oh, we need a bassist and a drummer for a show in Zurich." This was a couple of years ago now, for American Young. It's just a one-off show. Can we take your, you know, why don't we use your bassist and drummer from Two Ways Home? The bass player, Dom Told, who's great, he was away, I think, at the time. I'm pretty sure that's right. He wasn't around to do that gig. So Chris said, "Oh, I'll ask Phil to do it." So I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, a bunch of Americans, whatever, you know." Learnt off all these tunes and thought the tunes were really cool. And when we met the guys, like I said, it was just meant to be a one-off gig. When we met the guys, we really, really hit it off.
Yeah.
And in the break of the gig, John Stone, the songwriter, called up his manager and said, "These have got to be the guys for all our gigs from now on," which is amazing. That never happens.
What, the first break or the first rehearsal?
No, we didn't rehearse. We just did the gig. We just went straight on stage and did it. Yeah. Funny story about that. He cancelled the rehearsal, John, because no one had told him there was going to be a band. They'd been touring as a duo, doing little Europe tours as a duo, and they've been writing with people out there, I think, as well. But because it was quite a long, I think it was 2:45s or 2 hour sets. It was quite a long gig. The management, Todd, had said, "Oh, we'll have a band for this." Well, I think they'd already, you know, that was always what they do. They always have a band if it's a longer set or a longer gig or whatever. But they hadn't told John because they knew that he'd be so pissed off that there was a bunch of guys he didn't know, and he presumed. I think he just presumed that we wouldn't be any good. And there's a famous story of when he, not famous. A funny story of when he was told that there was a bunch of British guys coming over, or 2 British guys, he said, "Don't bother." Like, and he was fuming, and he just went mad down the phone at the management and was just like livid. And then when they saw him calling in the first break, they were like, "Oh God, here we go." And he was just like, "We've sold out all our merch. The gig's going amazing. Like, these guys got to come with us from now on," you know. And that week we did a gig in Amsterdam with them, and we did we did 3 London shows with them.
Oh,
that
so you
week.
just got all those gigs out of...
Yeah,
out
so
of
it was
that.
amazing. And since then we've been playing with them, you know, loads and writing with them and doing all sorts. So
Brilliant. When's your next stuff with them? Have you got things coming up?
I think they're coming over in the summer. There's
Brilliant.
a bunch of festivals and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
It was
great.
nice because that feels like that never happens, and it feels like one of those fairy tale
Yeah.
stories. But yeah, and then since then, other people have said to John and Christy, "Oh, we're coming over to the UK," and they always say, "Oh, you got to use Phil and Chris." So
Great.
it's been really sweet. Oh, and there's Luke Thomas who plays with us as well, who's great as well. He's been a bit later on, but
Yeah.
So it's.
And didn't you go out there? Did you just
We
go?
went out there for a bit, yeah. and
Were
we
you
did-
working or was it just?
No,
No, not working.
of course not.
No.
Because I didn't have the right papers. No, we did some. That's where we started rehearsing with Lainey Wilson.
Yeah.
Who's this other girl we play for. She's like sort of this incredible guitarist, singer, and just it's her trajectory. Even since we've started working with her, has just been amazing.
Yeah.
She actually played the Ryman last night, which is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Just supporting someone. But yeah, so we've been playing with her loads, and she's the one we might end up heading out there a bit more and all this. See what happens with that. But. And we did a one show for no money with American Young. That was sort of it wasn't really a show actually. It was just we were playing for a label thing. So
Great.
yeah, which was so fun.
Yeah.
And they had a couple of other guys playing with us who were like Nashville heavy superstars, and it was
that's
really cool.
exciting.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was kind of it was an amazing time.
Did you feel like when you were out there, yes, I could definitely put everything else aside and do this?
I don't know about putting everything else aside because me and my friend Chris, who we've been doing it with, we're quite a good team because I can be maybe too, I don't know if that will happen, and a bit sort of too worryingly realistic about it. And at times, potentially, he can be a bit too, we'll go tomorrow and we'll live there forever and we'll live happily ever after.
Yes.
So we're actually the perfect team of being like, well, let's not do this, let's do that, let's try this, cancel each other out a bit. But I could see myself going there for a while and, seeing what happened. I mean, there's a lot of work out there. It's amazing. I couldn't believe it. Like every bar has a really, really good band in.
Yeah.
I know that's not like the epitome of like, I just want to play in those bar bands, but there's just...
It symbolises something that there's just this love of music.
Exactly.
Everyone...
And people there in
very well
the
known.
audiences it's always rammed. People are always out watching music, and they are either musicians or they're like, oh, I'm not even a musician, but they just love music.
That's
it's
great.
just amazing. Yeah.
Would it help if like you released your own music and was like if you were an artist yourself? And
Maybe
you could go over there and get a visa that way, or I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's all about which visa to get. I think is the difficult thing.
Right.
So with the visa we want, we'd like just to go there with some dates in with bands, but then do whatever. So if someone said, "Oh, could you come and do this gig?" or could but that's extremely hard to get, and I think it's super expensive. It's a bit of a gamble on our kind of first proper working trip. So it might be a case of we just get a visa for a select amount of dates, a specific amount of work, and just see how it goes. Band I used to play in years and years ago when I was in college. It's a weird... I've never been very good at describing it. It's comedy hip-hop, so it's improvised comedy hip-hop.
Oh, is it a band?
It is a band-a-man, yes. So I used to do the band-a-man gig back in the day.
Right.
We did the Ed Sheeran tour, we did all of that. But
Great.
I'm going to be working with Rob again. We're doing some...
Wow, I've always been fascinated by how they do that.
Yeah, I mean, Rob's the real brains. James was a pretty genius as well. He's the guitarist who you may
Is he
have
the one
seen.
that... I've only heard them on some comedy sort of podcast. Or
it may
I've not seen them in person.
Right,
but
it might have been Sam, maybe you saw, who did it for a long time. Who's also one of my closest friends. He's also a genius at that whole thing. But
Yeah, incredible.
yeah.
So what's the premise?
So,
Sorry, is
so
it-
Rob is a comedian and rapper, and so this is an old example now, and this was sort of his. I've done this a million times with him in corporates and whatever. He does a song called "What's in Your Pocket."
Right.
So there's a little tagline of just the side person. He does do shows on his own, but normally there's two of them, or bigger. But the side person will sing this line, "What's in your pocket?" He then goes to the audience, take something out of your pocket, your handbag, the weirdest thing you've got, and I will rap about it. If I don't rap about it, I'll give you £1,000 or something,
Yeah.
whatever. And so that's where he's genius. So like people always bring out these and people come to the shows knowing this as well. So, you know, but he can
Excellent.
just at great speed, and we're playing it's a song. He'll just be constantly rapping over it, and he'll be running around the audience grabbing stuff whatever. You know, some people's lipstick. He'll do a whole line about it. A whole
Yeah.
I did the gig for quite a long time back in the day, and would still be blown away every single show. Just how did he do that?
That's
you know.
brilliant.
And it all
Yeah.
rhymes.
It all rhymes and it all flows
and
nice. And
what I always thought was cool was that sort of Beastie Boys style of rapping,
Yeah.
where the second guy would say the word, that the others, like the last word of each side.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, I should have said the word there.
Yeah. Yeah.
There.
All I had to do was think of one object.
It'd be great if I was just
I just didn't
describing
want to say
it
dildo.
and then someone.
I tell you what, Seb, you should do this. You could do that. It'd
It'd
be
be great
amazing.
if someone looked it up after hearing this, being like, "Oh, that sounds interesting," and it was just that, just like a guy running around the room.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah. But,
Very impressive, though.
yeah, it is genius. I still don't know how he does it. I've done gigs and being the second guy.
Oh, right.
So
you
Oh,
can
seriously?
you can kind of guess what he's going
Well,
to say, right?
that's sort of the job description.
Literally what you have to do.
There have been times when you guess it, and you know, especially with other songs, not, but especially with Pocket, there's things that always come out. Now, he's not prepping any lines. There's no,
Yeah.
but you can, and if you've done it a lot,
You're
and
lighter. Yeah.
mobile phone, and then there's always some
A to Z.
funny person who brings an A to Z.
Sorry.
No.
If he was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always someone funny who brings a condom. There's always someone funny who brings an
Yeah.
orange because nothing rhymes with orange. You know,
Got it.
there's all
Yeah.
these things. So you do sort of start to clock, and you know where the line's going to come as well because
Yeah,
it's, you know,
it's set
from
up
the end of the
previous,
four or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You know, so you sort of, and I have done it a few times, and you don't have to do it. Like he's not like, where were you on this one? You know, like if you can do it, great.
Yeah.
There's been many times when I've gone for it, started a word, and heard his voice in my ear and been like, it's not the same word I'm saying. Phone book, damn, it was A to Z.
I saw your name that I think you'd written on a
Oh.
wall.
A toilet,
In,
my
uh,
name.
Your name.
a gents in a
How
petrol
do you know?
station.
How do you know that I'd written it?
Well, it said P. Donnelly. It was on the wall at Pizza Express in Holborn.
I think you're going to feature it in Highgate. It's just not a music venue, just a Pizza Express. It's like someone wrote that the other day.
Yeah, it was just your
No,
phone
so I think-
number.
Where was the one?
It said, call for a good time.
Where was the one that Prince Andrew went to?
Woking.
Woking.
I'm
Woking
not-
Pizza Express.
I'm not really a Woking guy. It's not
You're
really my... I like to say on record.
Not sweating. That's all.
Was that you? Did you write that?
I don't know if I wrote it, but yeah,
In the-
almost, in that little tiny little dressing room.
Yeah.
Yeah, which all the bands have to share.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Did you do a gig there?
I've done a couple of gigs there. Yeah, we did an American Young show there, which I think was where
right.
we did that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's probably what we wrote there. Yeah,
I see.
I remember someone had done the logo really nicely and drawn it on the wall.
Ah.
I wrote P.
I might have seen
P.
that.
Donnelly.
There's like thousands of names. And,
Yeah,
Did you write your name on there?
Yeah, but no, I wrote.
scribbled out mine, covered it over.
Yeah.
Text.
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
I wrote the Old Dirty Bastards
Oh,
nice.
did you?
in Biro,
Nice.
so I didn't have a Sharpie.
Oh. When were you
It's
there?
good 'cause it's like the worst, smallest thing written on the wall.
It's very
Or
hardest
draw
to get
people
off.
in.
I reckon,
Yeah.
Bio, because it sort of digs in, you know.
Yeah, it's there
Sharpie sort
forever.
of paint over a bit, whatever. But that's
Yeah,
it's like a
Yeah.
tattoo.
did the gig there on Sunday. It was
Oh, nice.
Oh, great.
with the Old Dirty Bastards.
Which one did you? What show did you do?
We did a mix of tunes.
Oh, right, cool.
And it was weird because that's the it's like it feels like playing Ronnie's or the other Pizza Express Dean
Yeah.
Street one,
Oh, yeah.
which I've only been I've only seen jazz things at that
Yeah.
sort of thing, very intimate, proper music, and
Yeah.
we're playing pop covers on brass instruments, and none of us have like really studied jazz. So, but
how was, because I've seen you guys and it's always been in a party setting and
Yeah.
it's always been amazing. I've like always had such a good night. How was it in that room? Because we struggled with that premise at the start, and we sort of changed our set a bit.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Like, so everyone sat down eating pizza, and in the second set, tiramisu, or whatever, chocolate cake, whatever they've chosen, really.
Table. Oh,
There's a whole menu of food.
Yeah,
you
they
can
got.
eat.
They do loads of food there.
You should
Pizza
go.
Express.
They don't just do
Talk
pizza.
to me about it. Tell me about Pizza Express.
If you got a voucher, it's way cheaper as well.
So good, yeah.
Is the voucher? Can you use the voucher in the venues?
Oh, maybe not.
That would be worth checking out.
Don't let people down.
That's a shout out to
Probably
Pizza
not.
Express if you could let us know if you're listening.
Yeah, there's people sat right there, like as far as away as you are now
Yeah.
to me, and I've got my trumpet. I'm like, whoa, like they're
And
in
they're
the, they're in the
eating
splash
pizza.
zone.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, gonna get a bit loud
Emptying
and wet.
the new Pizza Express Hoban topping.
Spittle.
Yeah.
Trumpet spittle.
Yeah, would you like your American hot with Rokito, jalapenos, or valve
Valve oil.
oil? Valve oil. I think I Rokito actually. Yeah.
So what went down well?
It all. I think it
of
all
it?
went down well. I think.
Excellent.
Yeah. It's just odd because people aren't dancing and
Yeah.
they're not singing, especially at the beginning. By the very end, they're kind of half singing,
Once
in a
they've
very
had their
polite British way.
Tiramisu.
Yeah.
Once it's settled,
The tiramisu's gone to
it's
their
gone
head.
down. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Woo!
If anyone's up for tiramisu. Yeah.
But it is interesting because our thing works because everyone in the crowd sings along,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
like the singer,
Yeah.
so it's like a massive karaoke type thing.
Yeah.
So it was different. It was definitely more like a concert, and just like polite applause at the end of each
Yeah.
one, and
Yeah.
and because everyone was so focused on you, and you can hear a pin drop in those venues, so you can play really quietly at times.
Yeah.
It's great. Like Chris, our the first drummer in it, and he MDs it all, and he was brilliant, really funny, and he embraced the jazz club
Brilliant.
element of it. He's so comfortable at doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
Really
that's
enjoyed it.
great actually,
Yeah.
because it just puts you in so many different settings, doesn't it? Because there's nothing worse than, I think in any kind of concert setting, if somebody's introducing it and it just feels really
Yeah.
painful, you're just willing them to stop talking, or they
Yeah.
just can't talk, and so it's just an excellent skill if you've got somebody like
It's
that
so
in there
good,
who
yeah.
can just really draw the crowd, and you're winning already, aren't you?
Yeah.
So
You can do that.
I don't have that skill. I don't have that public speaking whole
Really?
thing. No.
Oh, really? Do you go a bit sullen teenager?
I just wouldn't be able to say anything.
really?
I just wouldn't. If they're like, could you? No.
No.
I've done jazz gigs under
Yeah.
sort of my own name.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, this is really not great. I just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
We just played a load of tunes and then walked off the stage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't even introduce the people who'd come out and played and
That's
stuff.
very poor.
Very poor.
Yeah.
I did it for my final. I didn't say a word for my final.
Yeah.
Because the same thing. And I saw someone do a final. They didn't say a word intentionally, and I really liked it. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Verity, your other half, Rob,
Yeah.
said the greatest thing I've ever heard in a concert. It was just, it totally was brilliant. It was one of the quartet concerts. He
Yeah.
was reading out, or he was saying what he was going to play. Oh, that was this piece, and gave a little bit of spiel about it, which was great. And then the next piece we're going to do is this, and a little bit of spiel. And I think he'd sort of covered everything, and he went, anyway, I've sort of got to a bit of a cul-de-sac, so let's play it. And it was brilliant because he spoke so well and everyone was really captivated. And once again, if that was me, and I would have had to prepare all that. He might have just done it off the cuff. I would have had to prepare all that. If that was me, that would have been like panic, dread, feeling sick, gone white.
Yeah.
He went, oh, got a bit of a cul-de-sac here, so let's play it. And it was just perfect.
Good.
I remember thinking like that was the most perfect thing he could have said then. It
Well,
was
he's funny
genius.
because he's the opposite. He thinks of himself as quite a shy, quiet person in a social setting. I don't think he is, but he does.
Right.
But when he gets up there on that
Yeah, he
stage,
was-
man, he loves it, doesn't he?
he was all over it.
He really does.
He spoke really well.
He loves
yeah.
the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like it if you go see a gig, if they do a lot of chat, like a proper musician, or does it get a bit annoying? It's like, just get on with the songs now. Stop trying to be funny.
People have to realise how important that the whole bit is, and it's like that whole chat is just as important as things like set construction, where it's going to come, and I don't know. A few people I play for, I think they've really got that chat down. They've got a few sort of slightly longer stories or little anecdotes about the next tune or the last tune, but it really works. Other people who I play for who haven't got that down, I've been on gigs and been like, or you know, or seen gigs and been like, get on with it. You know?
Yeah.
Like pulling teeth, but
Yeah, it depends what way you're going to do it. You could be a bit more end of the pier, like sort of like
Jim
it's a big, like,
Davidson.
showbiz anecdotes. Yeah.
no,
Stop him!
kill the microphone. Yeah.
Another thing about this Meghan Markle woman. Yeah, I don't know. Is that sort of Des O'Connor?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a ventriloquist dummy now for some reason. I like that.
Yeah, Bob Carolgees.
Here he is. Yeah, spit the dog.
in between like really heartfelt like acoustic guitar music, like just like they're just like you know, giving their soul to the audience as this gift, and then like finish it and like ooh, up comes the hand.
Are you enjoying this gig?
What's that, Percy the Parrot?
What do you mean you didn't like that one?
Oh, look at him.
Well, I think there's genuinely an act in that. I think.
Yeah.
Really introverted.
Should we split the copyright 3 ways right now?
Yeah,
so
let's do it.
in case anyone else gets it.
The American Young and Fluffy the Barn Owl.
There's 2 of them, so you could there's a lot of characters you could bring to the table there.
Excellent.
That could have a second narrative. Like they start off as enemies and by the end of the gig they fall in love.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's a hit.
Pass it on.
I'm on the phone to Nashville now. They're sold.
That will certainly get you in as an alien of outstanding
Yeah.
ability. If you're also ventriloquist.
Yeah, just like
Like, listen, no one else can do this.
I should do two forms. I should do one. Doesn't matter if it costs like millions of pounds. Do one which is my genuine form and like the work I've done and what I can bring, and then one is his character. Like they open up the document, and the first thing is just like a video of me, an acoustic guitar.
Oh, Phil, that was a bit pitchy.
What do you mean you like that song? Yeah. There's a concert that they do, which my best friend's family do at the top of the road in this little church, and it's like her mum was in the BBC for years and is a professional violinist and brilliant, and her dad he still is a fantastic oboe player, and they call in all their mates from orchestras and Covent Garden and all over to come and do these concerts once a year, which I love those concerts. And like there's only one bass player, which is one reason why I love it. So I'm not spending the whole time being like they're judging my like whatever. So whenever those things, and they do some a couple of years now, but I love those gigs, but I'm not really doing tons. I mean, I've not sat in a bass section for ages, you know.
Yeah.
The last classical concert, it's not really classical. It's sort of classical. Is I've been doing a couple of gigs with London Contemporary Orchestra.
Oh, cool.
But I was playing electric bass and Moog. So,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Yes.
which was really cool. And there
Yeah.
was loads of bass players I knew on it. It
Yeah.
was like it's quite funny, sort of being like, oh, hi. Anyway, this is my little corner. You know,
Yeah.
huge
Oh,
amp
cool.
and yeah.
What project was that? Was that
We
the
did-
Proms? Or?
We did 2 concerts. We did the Clint Mansell Moon film.
Oh,
We played
wow.
along to that, which was
Yeah.
That's
amazing
great.
at Barbican. And then we did a prom where we played a little snippet from there. They did like a sci-fi film,
Yeah.
late prom. Yeah, that was awesome. That was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah. So I've got a few things like that coming up as well. But once again, it's on guitar or bass, not sitting with other bass players. And that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's well up my street. So yeah.
That's great. Well, I remember that having not done any orchestral playing for a while and then starting back. It's a funny feeling. Like you just doubt your ability. I just doubted my ability to play really quietly in a section for a while. I
Really?
found that really the
'Cause
most
you've been
scary
doing quite a lot of
thing.
it recently, haven't you?
Yeah, much more than I had for years.
Yeah.
And I just remember going first of all and just thinking, God, I hope I can play quietly on the A string. It's just because when it's just you or 2 of you,
Yeah.
it's fine, isn't it? And you find
And
your levels, but it's
although you try and play the correct dynamics, but when you are in a pit environment or a
Yeah.
studio environment, and you're surrounded with headphones and microphones. And it becomes harder to kind of gauge what the person in the other room a lot of the time is playing, and judge that. And so a lot of it comes out in the wash a bit more. But when you're all just sat there and it's like...
I know, it's a bit scary. And, just even things like intonation.
Yeah.
What? But it's different. It can be quite different, can't it?
Did you have a nice desk partner?
Oh, recently I've had an excellent desk partner.
Great.
She was just fantastic.
Thank God for
Oh, thank God. But she was amazing. We had such...
for the purpose of the podcast.
No.
No, I really hated her.
Specifically this gig with this person. No. Just so we know, this is their name.
I'll give you the dates. I can give you her web address. No, she was brilliant. We were really delighted to get through the first week without being sacked for bad behaviour, because we just used to laugh about absolutely everything and everyone.
Yeah.
But it was great. Yeah.
Weirdly, you sound like being back in an orchestra, the confidence. I think if I sat back in a bass section, I think I would have some confidence gremlins.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing the concerts with electric bass and Moog or whatever, those ones, just take those for example. And I've done a couple of RPCO ones where they have electric bass and stuff a few years ago and stuff. I weirdly have, I don't know where it comes from, this confidence over the orchestral guys. Like, I know what your game is. Like, you're not going to scare me. Like,
yeah.
not that I was one of them in a professional orchestra, but like,
No, I know.
I get it. Yeah,
Is that when you become Sasha Fierce?
Yeah.
I remember first meeting you through Seb when he said, Seb Rudnicki, him being like,
Rudnitsky.
He
actually would like a shout out.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Hi.
He gets one.
Yeah, there we are.
That's the shout out.
That's really good.
Yeah.
But he was like, I've got this young friend. I have a young friend, Phil, and he's going to come in, look after him essentially. And then you bowled in like some cocksure individual. I was like, he doesn't need looking after. He's bringing down a peg or two.
I'm sure that's right.
Yeah, it was right on Funny Girl. Yeah.
Oh, was it Funny Girl?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where.
Yeah.
That's where we all
met.
That's where we all met.
Yeah.
That's where we met. Yeah.
And I knew you were a friend of Toby Streets.
Oh, yes.
That was my
that's
opener.
Right, yeah.
Hey, you're a friend of Toby Streets.
Yeah.
You're a friend of mine.
Friend of mine. Yeah.
Oh, did
That's
you have a
right.
list of how you get in with everyone? Is that what you did? Went round to
No, we don't
people?
all do that, Verity.
Oh, sorry, that's just me.
You got a spreadsheet. It's got everyone's name and then the name
the
that you know,
mutual.
the mutual friends next to it.
Why is this
Hours
person
of just like looking
useful?
through Facebook links and photos.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
well, we're mutuals, but are they really friends? Let's look at their photos.
Yeah.
They went away together.
Yeah. But are they still friends?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Yeah. So you knew him through doing jazz with him? You were in a band with him? Or
I
something,
did.
or-
I've done loads of things with Toby actually. I did a show with him years ago called The Billie Holiday Story, where he was depping for Martin Shaw, and he just played like amazing jazz all evening. I was like, oh, he's a great jazz guy, like great, And then I did a function band with him, which I still do. We both still do it occasionally, called Groove On Up, and they're still out, still available for weddings. And www no, and I was like, oh cool, Toby's playing, and then he just played the most ridiculous lead playing I've ever heard. It was just so good.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh cool, so that's his thing. He
Yeah.
probably like he's like one
That's
of the guys
probably
who does a classical. Yeah, he does a classical thing, and then he does all the, but his real thing is this.
Yeah.
And he got a job in the RPO.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, right, okay, yeah. But yeah, I still play with him a fair bit. And
I
he's
flipping
not-
love that about functions. Just think about that thing where you'd have these ridiculous players, and you might be playing in somewhere like in a corner, or often as a quartet.
Yeah.
Playing in a corner where it's just like the noise is extreme, and you'll be playing fucking loud, trying to belt out so be heard. And I looked at like last summer, we were playing for a wedding, and it was like that. It was really loud. It was quite painful, the whole experience. And the two first violinists were both playing on Galliano violins. I was like, this is ridiculous.
What's that mean?
They're like so expensive. They were both over 100 grand, these two
wow.
violins, and just the most extraordinary talent, playing, I don't know, Taylor Swift in the corner of a bar.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Do you use functions as an opportunity to book really good people?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
People who I normally would never get a chance to play with.
Yeah, I love it.
I love that. Yeah.
I think so. I like.
They might not.
No. I often lie to them about what it is they're going to be doing. Yeah, it's a recital somewhere in Kent. A couple of hours, yes, that's right. Some sandwiches. But it's great, I think, socially, and just the chance, especially, sometimes if it's really quiet and it's just great to play some really lovely chamber music and just choose what you want.
So sometimes that they can, I think for me, they can be total hit or miss. Like I played at my friend's wedding recently, a guy called Azzy Fabian, who was bass player at Guildhall when I was there, and he said, "Can you sort out the band?" And we had this amazing band, and they were all lovely. They were all so good. I was playing, I was like, I'm really, really enjoying it. And like the prep had been quite stressful because there was the pressure. It was my best friend's wedding, and I was bringing all the PA and doing all that. It's like, hope it's not, hope everything works. And I was just like, this is so good. However, I have done functions where I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think the people choice is a huge thing on it.
Oh, definitely.
If it's people who are lovely, then it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And if it's people who are not into it or whatever, then it's difficult.
Yeah. I do them with my band, and that's always fun. It never feels like work. It's
that's it.
Yeah.
So then having done all that for a few years, then I've decked on with some function bands, and actually it's just nothing like playing with my mates. And it's
Oh, that is the thing though, isn't it? Yeah.
And so I don't do that anymore.
No.
But then they've stopped asking also.
I became a bit of a quartet snob as well about functions. I get
I'm just
it
been
sounds awful to
spoiled
say.
from playing with my mates.
Yeah, that's it. It's just so nice.
Yeah.
And
I don't
how
work
people
to
play.
feel like work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's not why I went into music.
Like, that's totally our thing, though.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
it's not meant to be like a job, is it?
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
I messed up recently. I was asked to do, and they said, "Would you like to fix the band for a function?" So we play and fix. I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to fix it." Like I was saying, I'll get all great people and good hangs and all this, and there were people who normally do the gigs anyway. There was no one, it wasn't like I was snubbing anyone, whatever. Anyway, so I got this really great band together, and then as soon as I'd finished fixing the last person, realised I would not be able to do this gig. I just looked at the dates wrong on my phone or whatever.
Oh no.
So it's like, yeah, actually, I won't be there. Sorry.
So nailed the fixing gig.
Nailed the fixing. They're like, fix, sort of empty it, just organise when everyone's getting there, speak to them, count tunes. I was like, I'd love to do all that. Yeah.
Definitely could do that.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to go wrong.
Yeah, I've got it down. That's me. I'm that
I'm already
guy.
there.
Yeah.
I'm already setting up.
So did you send in your ventriloquist dummy
Yeah.
to do it for you?
No, actually, weirdly, I could do the gig. The dummy had something else on, so I was out. So I just be sat at home that night. I might go along and watch.
Well, you got
Yeah.
to get up to Sheffield, haven't you?
I do, reluctantly.
Have you got all your snacks for the journey?
I've got so many snacks for the journey. And I'm gonna.
All those ones on the table. I thought you were going to.
They were offered. They were on the table. They're for.
They weren't offered. I mean,
I'm sorry.
I mentioned them, but you didn't
yeah.
offer them.
Oh.
I've
They didn't
been
make their way in
waiting
here.
the whole time.
Don't put this bit in because Mum will listen to this and be like, "Those
Yeah.
snacks you should have."
I
Mrs.
brought you up
Donnelly.
to offer Pringles.
Yeah. Have a word with
Would
your
you like
son.
to take some Pringles for the journey?
I might do actually.
Yeah.
There were other things
There's
as
a BP
well.
at the top of the road.
Yeah.
Sort yourself out.
So that was Phil.
Yeah, that was a great chat with Phil, and it was nice to talk to him about his career. It's quite interesting to talk to someone who's or from a young age knew exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he's got quite a, he's always working, always creating stuff, and always thinking of the next thing. And like, I mean, the dream of going to Nashville, that's such a big thing, isn't it?
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's really impressive how he can. So much of what he does is self-generated, and but great, so interesting and varied, isn't it? I felt quite inspired coming away from there.
We're gonna we're gonna put these out every week.
We are. It's a resolution. We're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the plan was originally to do like a block of 10, have a bit of time off, do another block of 10.
Yeah.
But
I mean, what do you do with your time off these days?
Well, I don't know. There's no rules anymore. is
No,
there?
I know.
You can just like start working on something, and then 10 minutes later go, I'll just do this next week.
Yeah.
There's no deadlines anymore.
The rules are there.
So
Are no rules.
This is going to be our deadline. We could try and put it out same day every week, and so there we go. So that's 3 in a bar. Do you get it? 'Cause it's like three people in a bar.
Get it? Yeah, it's good.
And
It's good that we spell it out for people, though.
Okay, well, have a great week, whatever you're doing. And we're on Instagram, aren't we?
We are.
You can follow us. I think
We're
we've
on
got
the
one
Instagram.
photo.
Yeah, 2 now.
Maybe
2.
2 photos.
I did a story on there last night as well. I was so proud of myself. I don't think it was very good, but
I
it's
saw
a
that.
start. Yeah.
So what's the handle?
It's at
3
3 in a bar pod.
At 3 in a bar pod.
Yeah, and we will be present on Twitter. Am I right?
Yeah, we're going to get on Twitter. I'm gonna do one of those today.
Oh, well done.
At
good.
something.
Lovely.
And maybe Facebook as well. I don't know.
Let's do Facebook too. I mean, for my generation, it's a
for
good
the
thing.
mums. Yeah, to get
one
to
for
get
the mums.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Take care, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for
And
joining
we'll
us.
see you next week.
Bye.
Ta-ra.